big rescue mission that has taken place, making it very clear that India will not be tolerating any piracy in the Arabian Sea, and that our nation is committed towards safeguarding the sea lanes of communication. The Marine Commandos of the Indian Navy boarded the 88,000 tons bulk carrier MV Lila Norfolk east of Socotra Islands after the UK Maritime Traffic Organization reported that the ship was hijacked by pirates. The Liberian bulk carrier was transporting cargo from Brazil to Bahrain. According to latest information, the Marine Commandos are currently on board the ship. However, the entire crew has been rescued to safety and last bits of the operation continue. The crew, like I said, has come out of the safe house and no pirates, in fact, were found aboard the ship. This is the first time in recent memory that the Marine Commandos have been deployed in an operation so far away from India's territorial waters, and the success of the operation clearly shows India's growing military prowess and serves to improve our stellar record and reputation. I have with me Rabindra Sachdev with us on the broadcast. Rabindra Sachdev, crucial developments taking place in the Arabian Sea, wherein the Indian Navy was called swiftly to action by the UK Maritime Organization, and we have seen how within 24 hours the Indian Navy managed to intercept this ship and has also conducted a very successful and a very clean rescue operation.
Hi, Deepika. Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the operation of the Indian Navy is, I would say, absolutely commendable. It's commendable. It has been noticed globally. It has been efficient. And it portrays, as you mentioned earlier, that India's growing reach in the maritime, world, and our ability to deliver, some effective punches, in a way to say. So this is a huge achievement of our Navy, of our Marcos, the Marine Commandos, and whoever else would have totally, planned out or strategized this operation. It's an absolute, success one. Secondly, at this point, I'd just like to kind of, delineate for the benefit of us and our viewers maybe, that what we are seeing happening in this region, beyond the Red Sea into Gulf of Aden and the Arabian Sea, there are two players there which are different, right? One is the Houthis and the other are the Somalian pirates. The pirates who are Somalian apparently of origin, oftentimes mostly, they've been operating for the last many years. But I think the last few years they were kind of on a low. But recently it seems they've again picked up their activities. However, I think it should be kept in mind that the pirates are a different set of people, etc., versus the Houthis.
Right.
At the same time, the danger which could happen, and I think maybe you mentioned or somewhere else has been, of course, discussed, a danger could be that if the Houthis and the Somalian pirates link up, or in some case, because right now there's a pregnant possibility of that. Somalia is in dispute with Ethiopia.
Yes.
Ethiopia has just signed an agreement with Somaliland, right, which is a breakaway, you can say, province, state of Somalia, which claims autonomy. And Ethiopia has signed a deal with Somaliland for access to the Red Sea or the Gulf of Aden, about 20-kilometer coastline. Now, Somalia says that no, that should not be there because Somaliland is our territory. How can they make agreement with Ethiopia to give it access there? The point being that Ethiopia is perceived in the bigger picture, right? Is perceived closer to the US and to the West. Okay. So if the Somalis kind of, their tensions ratchet up with Ethiopia, one way for them to get back at Ethiopia would be to, little bit align themselves with the Houthis. Not necessarily the Somalian government, who knows what the government is there, but they could still promote, more of these pirates to disrupt shippings more. So that is a danger ahead, I would think. But this operation, absolutely, hats off to our Navy.
Right, Rabindra Sachdev, I'll just come back to you in a moment. Captain D.K. Sharma also with us on the broadcast. Captain Sharma, I'm sure you've also heard what Rabindra Sachdev's analysis of the situation has been. Given that this is only the fourth such incident that has been reported in the past couple of months after a huge gap of about 4 to 5 years. If this is now the precedent that is being set for the times to come, sir, what is it that you see as far as the role of the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force in terms of conducting such swift rescue operations in the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Sea is concerned, sir? Captain Sachdev, Captain Sharma, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try to bring Captain Sharma back onto the broadcast. Ramendra Sachdev, let me take the same question with you then. India has, in a way, of course, proven its military prowess time and again. But as far as protecting the seas is concerned, and there was a big reason why the Quad was also coming up, largely was for the protection of the Indian Ocean and the Indian Ocean region. But as far as this part of the world is concerned, where we're connected with, say, the Middle East through the Arabian Sea, what sort of a role do you feel the Indian Navy and the Air Force will be playing in the times to come? Because this seems to be some sort of now a regular modus operandi.
No, very true. You see, another thing which is a derivative of this to which you're mentioning, traditionally the US especially has been very unhappy with India because it says to India that you are not playing your role, you are not stepping up to the plate, right? Or you're not doing things what you should be doing. You could be doing this and that. Of course, America asks or suggests India to do things which align with the American worldview, whatever it be. The point is that since long, India has been perceived as being reluctant to play a larger role, right? Now, with something like this, it shows very much that not only is our capability, we have the capability, but we have the, now intent, and we are playing a larger role as and when, if it is needed. So that's very much, another signal which goes out through this operation. And of course, it speaks to our again increased reach maritime, and for contributing to the safety of maritime businesses, transport, and other freedom of navigation issues. So it does indicate that, you see, if we see on the one hand we have the Bay of Bengal, the Arabian Sea, where we have a role to play, and this is extending more. Down below, we have the Indian Ocean, where also we have to play a bigger role. We are playing a role. And then out here is the Bay of Bengal, where also we have to play a role and a bigger role. So in all these three, directions, one would say, the reach and the planning of our Navy, I think is extending so that we have more of a outreach. And also then secondly, due to the multiple exercises that we keep doing, with various, be it the Malacca Straits exercises and other many exercises, interoperability with other navies, right? So that we become also an important cog or a part of the overall safety security architecture in this region. And, even this rescue of yesterday by the Indian Navy, I would think that this must have been discussed between India and some other nations, because it would also have depended upon that which, whose ships are nearest to this hijacked ship. That could have been one factor in consideration. Or is it that India offered itself, or India told itself to some of the regional, maybe even the coalition with America, which America has set up for, Red Sea. There must have been some coordination with those guys by the Indian Navy to kind of, to be the agency which implements this, let's say, this rescue. Otherwise, I don't anticipate that there would be a scenario where Indian warships are racing to rescue crew, and on the other hand, you have another Spanish warship or a British warship coming. There has to be coordination, and that is the purpose of the exercises which are held always between navies and air forces and militaries. So this shows that India is a part, will be a part, and can play a part and a role in a coalition or on its own, much away from our shores.
Okay, Ravindra Sachdev, I'll come back to you. Hopefully, Captain D.K. Sharma. Sir, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Captain Sharma, your assessment and analysis of what has happened and the role that India now continues to play on a much larger level as far as some of these rescue operations are concerned. I was discussing with Rabindra Sachdev as to how there has now been a sudden resurgence of these hijacking and piracy attempts, particularly on the coasts of Somalia. Given that this is likely to be the scenario for the times to come in the next few years, what role do you feel, sir, in your assessment will be played by India as far as further future operations, rescue operations are concerned?
Look, first of all, I must tell you that Indian Navy is not new to this anti-piracy patrols. We have been doing it from 2008 onwards, and we have been very, very effective in controlling this menace of piracy insofar as our area of interest is concerned, which is the North Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean region, which the Arabian Sea is a part of. And insofar as I was just listening to what the other panelist is saying, it is a standard operating procedure that should a ship be in distress under attack of this kind, the ships which are closest, they do get the distress message and also the position, and they are duty bound to respond. So there is nothing like this that you will coordinate and all. First is the nearest man has to rush, and should he not be able to, respond to that, then the next man takes over. So UK MTO, that is why, informed on an open circuit that so-and-so ship in so-and-so position has been embarked by 4 or 5 pirates. So there is nothing, physics or high thinking involved in this. These are the normal operating procedures at sea that should you be in the slocks and you find any kind of difficulty, you pipe up on open frequencies. And that is what this Liberian flagged ship did, whether there were Indians on board or not. This distress signal will go like this. They will disable the ship. They will go into the citadel. They will go into the safe house. And the other seafarers and the navies in the area will respond accordingly depending upon their distance from the affected ship. And insofar as India is concerned, we are the first responders in this area because this is our area of responsibility, as also the slocks traverse through Indian Ocean, whether it is from east to west or west to east. So it is, and we have been doing this. We have ensured that the pirates do not have the freedom to attack or embark or hijack ships, and that has been happening very, very effectively from 2008 onwards.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.